For centuries, we've been taught that the story of human writing began in two places: the fertile crescents of Mesopotamia and the sands of ancient Egypt. A single, monumental spark of genius, spreading its light across the globe. What if that foundational belief woven into every history book was profoundly incomplete? What if thousands of years ago, in a land almost entirely forgotten by time, another unique form of communication blossomed entirely on its own? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are journeying deep into the heart of ancient Bactria to uncover the mystery of the enigmatic Oxus script, a lost language that challenges everything we thought we knew about the origins of written words. By the end of this journey, your understanding of human ingenuity and the very dawn of communication itself will be fundamentally transformed. If you are as captivated by the whispers of lost civilizations and the profound puzzles of the past as I am, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button right now so you do not miss a single discovery. Alright, let us step back into 2200 BCE and listen to the words from Bactria. The whispers of forgotten sands often carry the most profound stories. And in the heart of Central Asia, along the fertile plains nurtured by the ancient Amu-Darya River, the Osea remarkable civilization blossomed. This was the Bactria Margin Archaeologic Complex, or BMAC, flourishing between approximately 2200 and 1700 BCE. Imagine for a moment a vibrant society that arose roughly concurrent with the middle periods of Egypt. So Kingdom and Mesopotamia Sumerian cities. This Oxus civilization, as it is often called, was far from a simple collection of nomadic tribes. It was a sophisticated Bronze Age culture, stretching across what is now modern-day Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, and Tajikistan. Picturesque sprawling urban centers, not unlike those in the more famous river valley civilizations. Sites such as Ganer Tepe in Turkmenistan, which served as a major center, revealed meticulously planned cities with monumental architecture. We find evidence of grand palaces, imposing temples, and robust fortifications, all constructed from sun-dried mud brick, designed to protect their thriving communities. The Pufthe Oxus were master agriculturalists, ingeniously adapting to their semi-arid environment. They developed extensive irrigation systems, harnessing the rivers and oases to cultivate vital crops like wheat, barley, and even grapes. This agricultural abundance supported a large and organized population, allowing for the specialization of labor that is the hallmark of complex societies. Beyond the fields, their craftsmanship was truly exceptional. Archaeologists have unearthed a wealth of artifacts revealing their advanced metallurgical skills, working with copper, bronze, gold, and silver to create intricate tools, weapons, and stunning jewelry. Imagine the gleam of polished bronze, the shimmer of gold adornments, the subtle artistry of their pottery, often adorned with designs reflecting their daily lives and beliefs. They were also renowned for their intricate carvings in chlorite and calcite, producing vessels, figurines, and unique seals that tell a silent story of their artistic and symbolic world. Perhaps one of the most remarkable aspects of the Oxus civilization was its central role in the ancient world's burgeoning trade networks. Located at a crucial crossroads between the great civilizations of Mesopotamia, the Indus Valley, and the Iranian Plateau, the Oxus people became vital middlemen, facilitating the exchange of precious goods over vast distances. Evidence of this far-reaching commerce is abundant. Mesopotamian cylinder seals, beads from the Indus Valley, Elamite pottery have been discovered in Oxus sites, while characteristic Oxus artifacts, such as ornate metal vessels and unique stone objects, have been found as far afield as northern Iran and the Persian Gulf. They were a primary source for tin, a metal critical for making bronze, further cementing their importance in the Bronze Age economy. This rich material culture, the sophisticated urban planning, and the evidence of extensive trade all point to a highly organized society, likely with a centralized governance structure and distinct social stratification, as revealed by their elaborate burial sites and grave goods. Their religious and ritual practices, too, seem to have been deeply ingrained in their daily lives, with temple-like structures and artifacts suggesting a reverence for fire and water, and figurines depicting powerful female deities. For centuries, this thriving civilization, despite its undeniable influence, remained almost entirely unknown to modern scholarship. Then, like a whispered promise carried on the desert wind, its secrets began to emerge. Around 1700 BCE, for reasons still debated perhaps, climatic shifts, changing trade routes, or nomadic incursions, the Oxus civilization declined, fading into the forgotten chapters of history, awaiting rediscovery. The rediscovery of the Oxus civilization, and with it, the first tantalizing glimpses of its unique script, is a story that truly belongs to the latter half of the 20th century. While earlier archaeological findings in the 1950s and early 1960s hinted at significant ancient occupation in Central Asia, these initial discoveries were not yet recognized as belonging to a distinct, cohesive civilization. It was the tireless work of Soviet archaeologist Viktor Sarianetti, beginning in the late 1960s and continuing into the 1970s, that truly brought the Oxus civilization, also known as the BMAC, into the light. Sarianetti's groundbreaking excavations, particularly at the monumental site of Göner Tepe in Turkmenistan, began to reveal the full scope and sophistication of this previously unknown culture. As layers of dust and time wear peeled back, alongside the impressive mud brick structures and rich material culture, archaeologists started encountering something truly unexpected: small, enigmatic markings on various artifacts. These were not the familiar cuneiform wedges of Mesopotamia or the intricate hieroglyphs of Egypt. These were unique symbols, distinct and perplexing. The artifacts bearing these mysterious signs were diverse, offering small, scattered clues. They appeared most frequently on stone seals, those small, often intricately carved objects used impressing designs onto clay, likely for administrative or ownership purposes. But the script also surfaced on fragments of ceramic vessels and other stone objects, hints of a broader application. Sites like Supalatipa, Jarkatan, and Tilabuluk in southern Uzbekistan, as well as Dashli in Afghanistan, have yielded further examples, painting a scattered yet compelling picture. What makes the Oxus script so intriguing is its visual nature. It appears to be primarily pictographic, with some ideographic and linear elements. Imagine symbols that look like animals, plants, or geometric forms. It's potentially representing an object, an idea, or even a sound. Some researchers note a characteristic representation of a camel, a distinctive marker differentiating it from other contemporary scripts, like the Indus script, which often featured elephants. This suggests an indigenous development, deeply influenced by the local environment and culture of Bactria. However, the sheer rarity of these inscriptions is what makes them such a profound enigma. The known corpus of the Oxus script remains incredibly limited, numbering perhaps only a few dozen individual inscriptions. Many of these are exceedingly brief, consisting of only a handful of symbols. This scarcity is a major hurdle, as we will discuss shortly. Compounding the challenge was the initial obscurity of Sarianetti's findings, often published only in Russian-language journals, and the subsequent political instability in the region, particularly the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, which severely hampered archaeological work and the international dissemination of discoveries. Despite these challenges, the discovery of the Oxus script sent a quiet ripple through the archaeological community. Could these be mere decorative symbols, marks of ownership, or religious significance? Or were they, in fact, the earliest evidence of a truly independent, fully developed writing system in Central Asia? The possibility was, and remains, breathtaking. The journey to decipher an ancient script is often compared to solving the most complex of puzzles. And in the case of the Oxus script, we are faced with a puzzle missing most of its pieces. To date, this enigmatic system remains undeciphered, stubbornly holding on to its secrets. There are several formidable obstacles that stand in the way of unlocking its meaning, each contributing to the profound mystery. The most significant and immediate challenge is the severely limited corpus of inscriptions. Unlike the vast archives of Mesopotamian cuneiform tablets, or the numerous inscriptions from ancient Egypt, we have only a few dozen known examples of the Oxus script. Many of these are incredibly short, consisting of just a few isolated signs. Imaginating to understand a language from only a handful of fragmented sentences, most of which are only 1 or 2 words long? It is an immense undertaking, making it nearly impossible to identify recurring patterns, grammatical structures, or a consistent phonetic system. Adding to this difficulty is the complete absence of any bilingual texts. Many successful decipherments throughout history, most famously that of Egyptian hieroglyphs with the Rosetta Stone, relied on finding the same text written in both the unknown script and a known language. Without such a Rosetta Stone for the Oxus script, scholars lack a crucial key, a direct bridge to its meaning. We simply do not know what language these symbols were meant to represent, or even if they represent a known language family. This brings us to the third major hurdle, the unknown linguistic affiliation. To decipher a script, one usually needs some idea of the underling, or at least a related language that might provide clues to its sounds, grammar, and vocabulary. With the Oxus script, we are in the dark. It appears to be an isolated writing system, with no clear parallels to any other known ancient scripts that would offer a starting point for linguistic comparison. While there are some stylistic similarities to early Proto-Amite, or even Harappan script, these connections have not yielded a breakthrough. The context of discovery, thenature of the artifacts themselves, and comparisons to other contemporary symbolic systems are all we have to go on. Scholars, including Victor Sarianidi himself, have made attempts to categorize and analyze the Oxus signs. They have observed pictograph elements that depict aspects of the natural world, such as the aforementioned camel motif, which is distinctive to Oxus inscriptions. Some signs appear to be more abstract or geometric, but the fundamental question remains: is this truly a full writing system, capable of encoding spoken language in its entirety? Or is it a form of proto-writing? Proto-writing systems use symbols to communicate ideas or record specific pieces of information, like quantities or ownership, but they lack the grammatical and phonetic complexity to represent the full range of human speech. Many early symbolic systems, from Neolithic signs to tokens used for accounting, were proto-writing, and most never evolved into true scripts. If the Oxus script falls into this category, it would still be incredibly significant as an advanced form of communication. But it would not be writing in the sense of Sumerian cuneiform or Egyptian hieroglyphs. The brevity and repetitive nature of many Oxus inscriptions often lean towards a proto-writing interpretation, suggesting they might have served administrative, religious, or ownership functions, rather than narrating stories or recording complex histories. Despite these immense difficulties, the quest for decipherment continues. Every new fragment discovered, every technological advancement in imaging and analysis brings fresh hope. What secrets might be hidden within these silent symbols? Could they reveal the names of rulers, the details of their trade, or even their spiritual beliefs? The potential insights into this vibrant yet enigmatic civilization are immense, driving researchers forward even in the face of such profound challenges. For a long time, the narrative of human writing was quite singular. The prevailing theory, championed by scholars like Ignace Gelb in the mid-20th century, proposed a concept known as monogenesis. This idea posited that writing was a monumental invention that occurred only once in human history, specifically in ancient Mesopotamia, with the development of Sumerian cuneiform around 3400 to 3100 BCE. From this single point of origin, it was believed the idea of writing then diffused outwards, inspiring or influencing other cultures to develop their own systems. Ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, while structurally different, were often seen as a product of this stimulus diffusion from Mesopotamia. However, over the past few decades, particularly since the 1980s, archaeological and linguistic research has profoundly challenged this singular narrative. The evidence now overwhelmingly suggests that the invention of writing was not a single spark, but rather a series of independent, parallel developments across different corners of the globe. Scholars now widely recognize at least for pristine or independent origins of writing. Firstly, Mesopotamia, with its Sumerian cuneiform, remains a foundational origin, emerging from proto-writing systems used for administrative purposes. Secondly, ancient Egypt developed its hieroglyphs, appearing almost simultaneously. Around 30 to 50 BCE, while some debate about possible indirect influence from Mesopotamia persists, the distinct structure and style of Egyptian hieroglyphs strongly support an independent invention. Thirdly, in East Asia, Chinese characters arose independently, with the earliest examples, the oracle bone script, dating back to before 1250 BCE during the Shang dynasty. The sheer geographical distance and profound structural differences from Middle Eastern scripts make an independent origin for Chinese writing virtually certain. And fourthly, in the Americas, Mesoamerican writing systems such as the Olmec and later Maya script, developed before 400 BCE, again, without any known contact with the Old World. Beyond these four widely accepted pristine origins, other candidates remain under active investigation. The Indus Valley script, dating from around 2600 to 2000 BCE, is a prime example. Though extensive, it remains undeciphered. And whether it represents a full writing system or a sophisticated form of proto-writing is still a subject of intense debate. This is where the Oxus script enters the historical stage. If the handful of signs and symbols found in the Oxus civilization prove to be a complete, independent writing system, a system capable of fully encoding language, it would represent a fifth pristine origin of writing. Such a discovery would not merely add a new entry to the historical record. It would fundamentally shape up our understanding of human cognitive development and the conditions under which such a transformative invention can occur. It suggests that the impulse to record language, to capture thought beyond the ephemeral spoken word, arose multiple times, independently, in diverse cultures responding to their unique needs. It speaks to a shared human ingenuity, a parallel evolution of abstract thought that transcends geographical boundaries and cultural connections, adding yet another layer to the complex tapestry of our ancient past. As our journey through the enigmatic Oxus script draws to a close, we are left with a profound sense of wonder and curiosity. This lost civilization, once a vibrant hub of culture and trade in the heart of Central Asia, still guards its deepest secrets within a handful of undeciphered symbols. The Oxus script, whether it proves to be a fully developed writing system or a highly sophisticated form of proto-writing, stands as a powerful testament to the ingenuity of an ancient people whose voices have, for millennia, remained silent. The ongoing efforts to unravel its mystery are more than just an academic exercise. They are an attempt to recover a lost chapter of human history, to hear the echoes of those who lived along the Oxus River thousands of years ago. Imagine the stories these symbols might tell. Tales of their daily lives, their beliefs, their understanding of the cosmos, the intricate details of their vast trade networks. Each potential decipherment brings us closer to understanding not just this specific civilization, but the very origins of human communication itself. The story of the Oxus script reminds us that history is not a static, finished book, but an ever-unfolding manuscript, its pages yet to be discovered, and passages waiting to be read. It is a humbling and inspiring thought that even now, beneath the dust of forgotten landscapes, there are untold narratives, ancient wisdom, and the silent voices of lost civilizations waiting patiently for us to listen. And so, the quiet tenacity of those who dedicate their lives to these ancient echoes continues. With every fragment unearthed, every symbol meticulously documented, every theory thoughtfully debated, we move a step closer. Not just to a translation, but to a deeper empathy, a profound connection with the minds and hearts of people who walked this earth millennia ago. They weren't just names in a history book, but living, breathing individuals with hopes, fears, and wisdom that deserves to be heard. The Oxus script, in its profound silence, speaks volumes about the enduring human desire to communicate, to leave a mark, to transmit knowledge across generations. It reminds us that our understanding of history is not static. It is a living, breathing narrative, constantly being revised and enriched by new discoveries. And perhaps one day soon, the full symphony of their voices will rise from the dust, carried on the gentle winds across the ancient Oxus River. Finally heard by us, their distant inheritors, what a privilege it will be to listen. And as our journey through the echoes of the past concludes for today, I want to thank you for joining me. If these whispers of forgotten times resonate with you, consider subscribing to Whispervale. We have many more untold tales waiting to be discovered. Till next time, perhaps explore another of our journeys into the unknown.